How you doing? I am Steve from Wilson and Staley Custom Coachworks, and I have an update for Warhammer number 2. So, a while ago I started drawing up and designing the tube chassis that we're going to be running under this vehicle. The thought process was we're going to go with a full tube construction chassis. That way we can really get the anti-squat, roll center numbers and kind of design the chassis so it would be very predictable and had some different options to allow us to do some high speed and also do some maybe hill killing or some really good rock crawling. So we had a couple different options on there. So what we would do is our 8 chassis link suspension mounts would be adjustable in different locations. Upon designing this and researching and coming up with some different scenarios, I found a company called Goat Built. And before I get into Goat Built, I just want to let you know I have zero tie to Goat Built. I'm not getting paid for this. Nothing. I'm not getting anything from them other than what I ordered and paid for. I found this company and found them to be really good at what they do, and that's design chassis components. So what I got from Goat Built and what I purchased was one of their universal subframe kits. And what these subframe kits do is it integrates all 8 suspension components. And what I originally wanted to do to begin with was run a triangulated 4-link in the rear and a triangulated 4-link in the front. Their chassis subframe has all 8 suspension link mounts all integrated into the subframe, as well as a transmission cross member, and if you so choose, a engine cradle with a built-in, or you can get it with a skid plate. Now, what that does is saves you a ton of time engineering. It just makes your life way simpler. Now, obviously, I could have sat and drew all this stuff up. Maybe not as good as they did. It's just going to save us time. And it's like anything. When I get way more enjoyment out of building the vehicles, sometimes the small details like this, we get hung up. I can do it myself. I can do this. Well, I'm smart enough to know that there's a company out there that spent a ton of time in engineering on making something like this work. Now their subframe is constructed 3/16 high strength steel, which that was a big selling point for me. Also their suspension mounts, they're all made for 2 5/8 joints, your typical Heim joints, typical stuff that you're going to use. They're all set up for a 5/8 link bolt. That's what we typically use in the shop. I like the 5/8. Some of the smaller vehicles like a GTJ or something like that will run a 9/16. It's not as critical. So we got that. We ordered the chassis subframe kit. We ordered everything. We ordered their engine cradle. We ordered their flat belly skid. We ordered the side panels, the belly plates with the both sides on it, just to save time. I looked at their product and they did a really good job designing all this. Also, upon me doing a bunch of research and designing on this chassis, I went away from the motor we were originally planning on using. I thought I have a really nice 331 Ford Stroker motor, fully built race motor. I was going to use that. I don't think it was going to really work the way I wanted it to. The power and torque range just wasn't going to be where I wanted it to be. So I have a bunch of LS engines at the shop, and I know everybody's like, LS engines, everybody's doing LS engines. For good reason. They're cheap, they're plentiful, and they make dumb power for the price point that you get into them. There's obviously cost involved, but it ain't nearly as much as some of the other motors we've built. So that was the plan. We're going to run a 6-liter LS motor, which I have in shop. We're going to do some things. We're thinking about doing turbos, whether I'm doing a single turbo, twin turbo. I haven't made up my mind on that. And also we're going to run a built 4L80 E transmission. We still are going to run an Atlas transfer case. And the reason why, or another big selling point of this chassis subframe kit that they have, their engine cradle, I just love the way they designed it. The way it was all integrated gives you a really nice flat belly. And the other aspect to it, I started running the numbers. Now my plan from the beginning, I want to run a 116-inch wheelbase. Seems to work really good on most of the rock crawlers and stuff that we're building. 116-inch wheelbase, a 26-inch belly. I wanted my belly to be flat and nice and clean. That way we wouldn't have any issues hanging up on stuff. And also we're going to run a 40-inch tall tire. So I started running some numbers on their chassis subframe kit. They do a really nice job of laying out all the schematics and telling you where the link placement is and all that. So it allowed me to put it into my 4-link calculator and kind of come up with some different anti-squat numbers and instant center numbers. And when I did that, I was really surprised to find that at the center mount with a 116-inch wheelbase, a 40-inch tall tire, and a 26-inch belly, I was right around 98 or 96, 98. I don't remember. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was pretty neutral anti-squat numbers, making the chassis extremely predictable. And then raising them up and down allow me to basically loosen the chassis up or making it slightly stiffer, giving me basically the ability to run higher speeds, or you know, if you want to do some hill killing, something like that. Depending, you have adjustability and be able to do different things. So this one chassis subframe kit offered all those different options. So I was really happy with that. It's just the design, the construction, everything. I thought it was a really well thought out system, and it's going to allow me to build the rest of my tube chassis off the subframe kit, saving me a ton of time. I'm not having to engineer my suspension from scratch, which I spend a lot of time doing that because I always want my numbers to be close to what I want, and I'll spend a lot of time fooling around and trying to come up with different scenarios, and they kind of took a lot of the guesswork out of it, saving me time. So I just want to give you guys a little update on that. Yeah, so if you're looking to build a tube chassis, tube buggy, whatever, look into Goat Built. I've been pretty impressed, and I'm going to post out some future videos showing you me jigging this thing up and start welding it. We just got it in the other day, so I want to do this video. I'll do a video of us opening it up and kind of start jigging everything together and show you how everything's constructed. I just want to do this pre-video little update to let you guys know where we're at and what we're doing. So you guys have fun. Make sure you like and subscribe so you get all our future updates. And we appreciate everybody that's already subscribed since. And like I said, I'm hoping to get these updates coming sooner and sooner. Yeah, you guys have fun and enjoy the rest of your time. Peace out.